Hello everyone, good afternoon. Can you hear me? Is our voice audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for attending our session today. As you can see, our today's presentation is about fostering inclusive learning environment for low achievers. I'm Dr. Rama from Center for Preparatory Studies, Dhofar University. I'm a lecturer here and level 1 coordinator. Here is my partner, Ozlem.
Hello everyone, I'm Ozlem. I work for Dhofar University CPS and I've been teaching English for 2 years here. Thank you for joining us today.
Okay, let's get started. As I would like to present to you now the overview. So this is a small experimental study we have taken up, Ozlem and I, after taking consent from the management. So let me explain to you the picture of our study. At Dhofar University, we have a foundation program. It is now called as Center for Preparatory Studies. Here, students study for 1 year, 3 terms, and they take a placement test when they come to the university. The problem is when students take the placement test, all students who score from 0 to certain score placed at level 1. So we receive students with 0 level. So we tried so many different ways to cater to the needs of these low achievers, but they didn't work much. So finally, we took a lot of studies from other colleagues, and we have taken everybody's opinion, and we have ensured this study and after taking consent from the management. So we are really thankful to our management for giving us this consent. So before we explain the results and the study and all the process and procedures we adopted, let me give you the overview of our study. We would like to start with the theoretical aspects of our study, the concerns of the students and teachers, some background information about our level 1 students who join the university, the preparatory studies, the aim of the study, the methods and procedures we have adopted, the results, the conclusions, and the potential future directions. So as I have mentioned to you, let me start with the theoretical aspect. Here is a closed text as a warm-up activity. I request all the participants to take a minute, just take a minute and fill in these blanks. Could you kindly fill in these blanks? Either you can use the chat option or you can unmute and tell me the words that you think fit in this closed text. Yeah. Just take a minute. You can put all your answers together in chat in one message. Would anyone like to unmute and answer? Yes, thank you so much. To reach success. Thank you, Dr. Patrick. Must be able to, right? Vocabulary, okay. Problems outside, yeah. Most of the answers, almost the answers match. Anyone else? Any other answers? Yeah, let's look at the answers. Thank you. Yeah, first answer is success, as we have got the answer, success, yeah. When we look at success, the definition of success varies from classroom to classroom. When we have high achievers, it has a different definition of success when it compared to a class of low achievers. But we all need to think about the success in language learning. And as mentioned by him, a learner must be motivated. Yeah. Okay, able to learn or motivated. Motivation is an important factor. When students are motivated, they participate in the classroom. Then strategies, a repertoire of strategies. As we are personally concerned about our low achievers, their strategies, the strategies they adopt in their classroom, either they almost lack, they have no strategies, they come with no strategies when they do certain tasks, or they have very low level of adopting those strategies. So here is the place where the teachers come to help them and teach them the strategies so they can complete the task successfully. So they need to have a repertoire of strategies to choose from to solve language tasks or problems. Yes, when students have strategies, effective strategies, they're able to complete the tasks on time. Another important feature that we would like to highlight in our presentation is students' exposure to language outside the classroom. We teach students, those students come from a background where they don't practice English at home. So their exposure to language outside the classroom is almost nothing or minimal. So this is another important factor that we need to look at, students' exposure to language outside the classroom. Thank you for participating in this. Thank you for your answers. So we premised our study on these things. So we have taken into consideration can-do statements as per CFR 2020. Like if students are provided with something they can do, I think they come forward to participate. If something is beyond their cognition, beyond their cognitive level, they give up. They do not participate in the classroom. We have also taken into consideration Krashen's understandable messages in target language. When the messages or the output or the materials that we provide to our students are understandable, comprehensible, students make an attempt to do the tasks in the classroom. If they go beyond their understanding, then we don't gain anything from them. They just do not participate in the classroom. They're reluctant to participate. They get demotivated and it affects their learning and Krashen's comprehensible input and compelling input. So the materials that we provide to our students, they should be meaningful to them, they should be interesting, and they should also meet their needs. So not only they are able to understand, they should also be interesting. Taking that into account, we have carried out this study. We have also taken into consideration differentiated instruction. We do adopt differentiated instruction in our classrooms, but unfortunately, in our situation, we get students from different backgrounds. We get students from zero level. We teach, actually the course is aimed to teach pre-intermediate, but we get students from zero level. Some of them are elementary. That means from zero level A1 to A2. So the gap is huge. So in order to fill this gap, teachers do adopt certain techniques of differentiated instruction, but the reality is really complex. The gap is so huge, teachers really find it difficult to meet the needs of such a big group of students. So to create inclusive classrooms to these students, especially who are struggling due to their low proficiency and due to various other concerns, Ozlem and I thought, what should we do about them? So we have come out with a plan. We are going to share that idea with you now. The study results we are going to share. So our idea, before I present to you the idea, the concerns, the students' concerns. Actually, the students come to us after completing their school education, 12 years of school education. They study English for one subject, and they come to us and they study at school in Arabic medium, and they come to university to take up different majors in the college in English medium. So to build that gap as a bridge course, we provide a course, 3 courses at foundation program. So students come to us with some formal background, but that formal background is almost nothing to some students. They come with a 0 level basics. So as a result, these students find it very difficult to meet the standards at our Center for Preparatory Studies. They have a difficulty. They also feel that they do not belong to the group. We have a class size of around 25 to 30 students. With, as I mentioned to you earlier, the gap is big. We have students at A2 level, A1 level, and 0 level. So they feel, students who are especially have weak basics, they feel that they do not belong to the group. They struggle to cope with the challenges. The teachers try to teach something above their level, much above their level. So they really find it hard to cope with the challenges. And also these students who are really struggling in the classroom with a group of other students who are at A1 level and A2 level, these students think that they need more time, they need more support in order to adapt to the situation they are in. And also, these students need everything to be simplified or changed. The material that we use in the classroom for the regular stream does not work with this set of students. So these were the concerns of the students we faced. And that's why this is really not achievable to these students within the time frame. We have around 12 weeks of teaching time. Within these 12 weeks, we failed to take the students from 0 level or A1 level to A2 level. That means almost from 0 level to pre-intermediate level. It was not achievable to many of us. From the other point, we also have concerns from our teachers. Teachers expressed their inability to meet the learning outcomes successfully with these struggling students. As a result, they feel frustrated, exhausted, because the gap is too huge. The gap between the students' actual proficiency and the class level, and the required learning outcomes that have to be met, and the students' actual proficiency level, there is a big gap. As a result, it leads to frustration amongst teachers. And also they feel stressed and discouraged, because these students, when they deal with these kind of teachers, when deal with these students, there are about 10 to 15% of students in some classrooms. Certain classrooms have around 30 to 40% of these students. So to deal with this set of students, teachers kept changing their teaching materials, kept changing their teaching methodologies to keep up to the expectations of these low achievers. But still, it was not successful in many cases. Another problem our teachers faced, they were worried, they were concerned. We have to complete this particular learning outcomes in this particular given time. But when it comes to students' performance in the classroom, especially these struggling students, in that given time frame, it was almost impossible for teachers to come up with a possible or feasible solution. So taking into consideration all these concerns, we have taken up this study, and we could tell you that we were able to achieve success to a greater extent. When we share our results, you would all agree with that. So let me first give you the background information of our Center for Preparatory Studies for English courses. Here at University, Dhofar University at CPS, we teach 3 levels of English: level 1, level 2, and level 3. Level 1 is a pre-intermediate course, level 2 is an intermediate course, and level 3 is a post-intermediate or upper intermediate course. We have 3 terms. Students are expected to study 3 levels, not more than 3 levels, because the system, the management, or due to other administrative purposes and reasons, they are given only 3 terms. But if students fail in a particular course, they repeat the course, but they are not provided with an alternative course, like a 0 level course. We cannot have 4 terms. We can only have 3 terms. Because of that, we had to adopt this particular strategies that we are going to discuss now. We have 3 levels, as I mentioned to you. When students come to us from schools after completing their grade 12, they take a digital placement test. Based on their scores, they are placed in different levels. Level 1, level 2, and level 3. And there are some students who do better. They go to colleges straight away without doing this course at CPS. And we teach 20 hours a week. In these 20 hours, 10 hours we teach reading and writing, and 10 hours we teach listening and speaking. It is an integrated course. It is A2 course from level 1. And level 2, we teach A3. This is about English at our CPS. And when it comes to the target group or the experimental study that we have carried out, the study group that we have, the information about these students is they are expected to read a 1 to 2 pages article and answer questions related to the main idea, details, to some extent, some questions testing their deducing meaning from the context or inferential skills. And they're expected to write a paragraph of 120 words on various styles, like a descriptive paragraph, a narrative paragraph, or a process paragraph. When it comes to listening, students are expected to take notes on main ideas and supporting details, listen to conversations, and respond to various questions, testing the main idea, details, etc. And speaking, students at the end of the course are expected to give a 2-minute presentation using functional language. So this is in simple background information about our level 1 students. So we have a regular stream of students who study these, but our study aims at students who are not able to meet these learning outcomes. So what did we do? How did we carry out the study? So here comes Ozlem to share our ideas, the rest of the ideas with you. Thank you all for listening. Over to Ozlem.
Okay, I'll just take over. I'm sorry for keeping you waiting. Okay, thank you, Dr. Rama. We wanted to give you the whole picture so that the research will be clearer. So this is how we teach in CPS in Dhofar University. So what we aimed, first we regrouped the low achieving students to provide more support. Normally, we have mixed level in level 1 because, as Dr. Rama said, we have 0 level students, A1 and A2 all together, and differentiation works only to some extent. So that's why we thought, what would happen if we regroup and take those special students and have them in one class and focus on their needs separately. And the administration approved our initiative, so we were really happy about it. And we also thought that the material should be more compelling. Normally we teach academic English in CPS, so we thought maybe because the students' level is really low, maybe they need something that would be more interesting for them rather than academic English. So we also decided that maybe it should, I mean, just like Dr. Rama said, the material should be comprehensible to the students so that they can understand. It will be still challenging to some extent, but it wouldn't be too high for the students' level. And we thought that this would improve students' mood. They would feel less frustrated because they get a sense of achievements, and we celebrate accomplishments like, yes, you did it. You managed. This was the learning outcome, and you managed to learn it. So it was really rewarding for them. And this, we thought that it would be higher satisfaction in teaching and learning, and also achieving excellence in teaching and learning. We mean, normally we aim, ideally we think that students should score really high and learn English to the best level. But for these students, we thought if we can teach something to them, even if it's in a communication level, it would help them in the long run. So with this group, we had 20 hours of instruction instead of 20 hours. Normally we have, as Dr. Rama said, we have 20 hours, 10 hours for reading and writing and 10 hours for listening and speaking. This group was provided with 4 extra hours, especially for writing. And when we think about the whole term, it was 36 extra hours for them. And normally we have 12 weeks in one term, 9 weeks for teaching, 2 weeks for exams, and 1 week for marking and all those extra duties. So actual teaching is in 9 weeks. And we focused on integrated skills, mostly on communication, and but we kept the learning outcomes the same. So the learning outcomes were the same with the regular mainstream level 1 students, but what we expected from this group was not the same as the other mainstream group. And after week 4, we started to give some academic topics to them to discuss and to work on. And in this group, we had 12 male students and 12 female students. And because they studied extra 4 hours, and they were provided with different learning materials, we had to take their consent, and they agreed to be a part of this study. And we designed a test to cover all the learning outcomes. And the students took the test at the beginning of the term, and they took the same test at the end of the term. And we compared how much they improved by the end of the term. Here are the results for extra hours. We didn't enter the attendance on our system, which would show officially, but this was like extra provided to them. Still, 71% of the students actually attended regularly, and for 21% of the students attended only 40 to 59, almost half of these extra hours, and 8% of the students attended 39% or less of these hours. So majority actually attended regularly, and some students attended like half of these extra hours. And when we checked pre and post-test results, 79% of the students actually showed some improvement. and 21% of the students didn't show much. And when we compare the extra hours result with the improvement, actually we can see it's kind of parallel. I mean, you can see that same students also improved significantly. And when we check switching from low to high achieving, I mean, to see whether they can be outstanding students. Again, 75% of the students scored more than 50. Yes, we look for academic excellence, and we always hope that all students would score more than 90. But with this group, we aimed that if we can teach them something simple, it's an achievement for us. So actually 75% of the students scored more than 50. The materials were simplified, but learning outcomes were the same with the other mainstream classes. And 4% of the students scored between 49 to 45, and 21% of the students scored less than 44. Again, the standards were the same, but the materials were simplified for this specific group. And who is in this 25%? We had 4 students. One was frequently absent and missed a lot of classes, not just the extra hours, but also normal regular classes that they are supposed to attend. And 3 students had issues in alphabet level recognition. We did lots of office hours, tutorials, but still especially one student couldn't recognize the letters. I mean, probably with Dr. Rama, we did 5 sessions just to teach alphabet. We used different methods, but still it didn't work. So we had this issue, especially in one student. And the other one is a WA case, because and it means it failed due to absenteeism. Again, the student didn't show up for most of the classes and eventually failed due to absenteeism. But what about the advisor's feedback? Each student has advisor in our program, and this is something that we are proud of, because we keep the track of students' success and challenges. And at first, teachers weren't able to communicate well with these students, especially if they didn't know, if these teachers didn't know any Arabic. So one advisor said, I don't know in Arabic, the communication used to break a lot. Now I can communicate with the advisee on a certain level. It's amazing to see the huge change in such a short time. Second advisor said that my advisee seems more confident after this course. He used to be shy and reluctant to speak at the beginning. Now he chats with me whenever he sees me. This, again, I want to remind you, this is not like they talk about abstract topics. Even if they can say something about their daily life, what they are doing, it was an achievement for us, because we have to remember these are A0 to A1 level students. And the last advisor said that I don't know what you're doing and how you're doing it, but please keep doing it. The change is remarkable. So for Dr. Rahman and for me, it was really rewarding to hear these positive feedback. And we also asked our students to evaluate our course at the end. And mostly you can see that it's positive. Only I want to point out 3 things. 53% of the students said that still, when it comes to active participation, they're a little bit hesitant, but again, we have to remember they are A0 to A1 level students, so their communication is limited. But when we asked them about the content, 83% of the students said that it was to their level, so they didn't feel like they are completely lost. So, and also willingness to continue in the same program. Again, 83% of the students said that they would definitely continue in this program, because as we said, the content was relevant and to their level. So what can we get from this result, this research? We definitely think that we helped the students improve their interaction in the target language. And also their language proficiency improved. 76% of the students actually scored really high in their exams. We have to consider that the standards are the same, but the materials were easier So even the materials were easier, still they were able to improve their language proficiency. And also teacher-student communication improved. Normally, some A0 to A1 level students really rely on translation a lot. But in this case, they were able to start speaking and telling like things like how much they studied at home or what they did. And if they had any concerns in the class, they were able to pass the message to their teachers. So it also improved. And when they have a sense of achievement, also it helps them to get over the fear of making mistakes. And also this improves their motivation because we celebrated simple accomplishments for them. And it also improved their confidence because they saw that they can do something rather than just sitting in the class and waiting for it to finish. They were actively participating, even though sometimes they are shy. So what can we do? We have to think about differentiation versus focused group. Yes, differentiation works, but if it's like A2, weak A2 level to a high A2 level students are in the class, and then yes, differentiation could work. But when we have 3 levels in one class, maybe it's a better idea to have a focused group for the specific students. And we have to think about whether it requires curriculum change or not. Sometimes policies do not allow to make a lot of changes. So it has to be up to the standards of the university as well. I mean, how much can we change when it comes to curriculum? And also logistics. I mean, because this was a special group, we had to create the groups, have the timetable, and ask the teachers to teach. Actually, Dr. Rama and I taught this group. I mean, if it's a bigger group, how would it work? So we have to consider this for future. And when we have alphabet level recognition issues, what should we do? I mean, how can we advise these students? So maybe we can ask them to reconsider their academic choices. And also from the teacher's side, making professional and fair judgment is important. Yes, sometimes the students score less, but and they're put in level 1. Is it a not studying issue or low level issue? So the fair judgment is important, and we need to have a stronger advising system. Now it works really good in our program, and thanks to advising them, maybe we can see what's the problem behind this low level, and then we can guide them accordingly. And we also use portfolio for better judgment. Here, it also works very well. We keep the track of students' performance and see whether it's not studying issue or because the students are really low level and they need to be in a certain group and study simpler content. Yes, thank you so much for listening. And if you have any questions, Dr. Rama and I are happy to answer your questions. Thank you, Dr. Patrick. Thank you so much. Thank you, Aisha. Thank you, Melanie, sorry. Thank you. Okay, our time is up. I think, yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here.